Hey everyone, welcome back to Seven Shepherds Farm. Today we're going to show you a little update on our lamb crop that we had. Surprisingly, if you've been following along, you know that we had some surprise lambs from 200 two-year-old ewes that we bought in October. So I think, judging by the look of most of them, I think we're about done lambing. We got really lucky with 3 weeks of unseasonably warm temperatures here in Missouri. So some days we had anywhere between 50 and 70 degrees for a few weeks, but the times are changing. Winter is upon us, and we're going to get to some colder temperatures, especially this weekend. But the last few nights we've had some lows, like 10-degree lows. But we're so far we're still lambing them out here on the pasture, and so far we have about 3 or 4 bottle lambs at the house that our daughter's been feeding that were orphaned that we found sporadically here and there, but that's not really that uncommon for this many sheep that we're lambing. I think we have about 50 lambs so far. The only sort of, I guess, casualty you would call it is on the coldest night. It was 9 degrees and we had a set of triplets born during the night, and none of those made it. But other than that, we haven't found any other dead ones that were born during the cold nights. So far I would call it a success on the lambing. Like I said, I hope we're about done because we're getting into some colder temperatures, but there's really not a whole way to tell until they're all lambed out. So come along with us today as we show you some of these new lambs and show you a move. Here's a little set of doubles. This black mom, they're both doing great too. They were born a couple nights ago. All right, there's a little single lamb. Pretty little guy. He's nice and healthy. Let's see what else we can find here.
There's a set of twins right there, the way it looks. The brown one and that white one belong to that.
Yeah.
White ewe there, the way it looks.
Another little set.
Yeah, they're a few days old. Their navel's all dried up and it's off, so they're a few days old already. They should be in good shape for that cold weather.
There's another little single up here.
I think he was born last night.
Oh, yep.
Or this morning.
She's still got some afterbirth on her tail, but he's nice and dried off, and
yeah, he's sucking,
he made it through the cold last night.
He made it through last night, he'll be fine.
Absolutely. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh, here's a little set of twins. One black and one white. Hey, Mama.
They're already full and warming up in the sun. It's going to be in the mid-40s today, so we'll get plenty of heat.
Yeah, the next 3 days are supposed to be good. 40-degree highs. We're here in mid-Missouri. I think I forgot to mention that, but I think there's a cold spell going to hit most of the nation.
Kind of a cool looking one.
Oh, yeah. Oops, there's a little black one. I don't know, what would you say? We're probably up to about 50, I'd say.
We have at least 50 lambs. It's really hard to count them with all the sheep. I mean, it's almost impossible to count them all accurately, but we got, 45 the other day when we counted. I know we've had several since then, so we have at least 50, maybe 55 even.
Like I said, it is definitely not ideal to do this. We're going to try to get them bred back for some August babies, and then hopefully the year after that we'll get them all bred back to May. See, she's still bred right here.
Yeah.
You can tell.
That brown one's going to have lambs yet.
She's going to have one yet.
Another set of twins.
Oh, yeah. There's Mama. All right, let's see. We're lucky too. Even though it's been cold during the day, it's been really sunny. So we don't get too close to them when we walk around like this. We keep our distance.
There's another single and a couple sets of singles.
See, I think that one might be a double.
Actually.
Yeah, it's a double right there. Those are newer too.
Twins are ideal. They're meant to raise twins, but
yeah, we've actually had a couple sets of triplets. A couple of our bottle lambs we know are out of triplets. Yeah. And I've seen a couple triplets out here on the pasture too. I want to show you this little set of triplets here. They were born a few days ago and they're already looking great. So mom's taking care of all 3 of them out here in the field. 2 little red ones and a white one.
There's another one that was born last night or this morning.
Yeah.
Just goes after birth on her too.
Yeah.
But he's doing fine. He's bedded down. I mean, he's.
Look at this one up here. This big one up here. He was one of our first ones. He was born about 3 weeks ago. Look how big he is already. A little brown one.
Brown one, yeah.
He's like half the size of the ewe already.
Almost as big as that one little ewe in the back there.
I mean, he was one of our Christmas lambs. He was born. That's about when we had our first ones. They dropped Christmas week, so he's no more than 3 weeks old. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was like 70 degrees on Christmas, so hey, we really got lucky with the weather.
Yeah.
There's 3 or 4 more behind you. Hard to count them.
Whoops. There they are. Yeah. Most of these ewes in here that we purchased were ewe lambs, so you know they're not gonna have any. It's just these 200 2-year-olds that we bought that are bred, so it's not like we're gonna be lambing everything out here. It's just a couple hundred or less. I don't know how many of them got bred, but. Oh, here's a bunch of little lambs. And there's got the blackhead. This one here's got 2. All right, well, we're gonna slowly round them up here, kind of walk around and make sure everything's standing, let all the ewes find their babies, and then we're gonna move them today. We've been moving them about every other day, so we just move them slowly, just let them make their way through. Hopefully they come through with their lambs. That's kind of how we've ended up with a couple orphans, but we got to keep them moving. So
yeah, with all these little babies, it's hard to move them and keep the ewes and the lambs together. The ewes are really good about keeping the lambs with them usually, but they get excited when we're moving them to a new paddock, so they know they get some fresh grass, and sometimes they leave them behind. But that's why we just kind of walk around, get everybody bunched up, basically, get all the ewes and the lambs up, and then they can kind of slowly make their way towards the gate. They know they're going to get moved. When they see us like this, they know they're going to be moved.
They're all kind of headed that way.
Yeah, they're
anyway.
kind of going over there already.
But we're letting them take their time and do it slowly.
Yeah, we don't want it to be a mad dash for the gate because there'll be a lot of orphan lambs then. So we're going to try and take our time this morning and hopefully not leave any lambs behind. So
they're all coming off that hill over there. And one more quick thing I wanted to share with you guys real quick before we get started with this move is I put up this 2-strand temporary fence here along this pond. In every permanent paddock, we like to make sure that our sheep have a reliable water source so that it makes moving them a lot easier. We also like to look for where the water source is located so that we can easily divide our pastures even more, like our permanent pastures even more during the growing season. But in the winter, one tricky thing about having a pond is that with cattle especially, we never had an issue with the sheep yet, but we don't want to take any chances. The ice on the pond is sort of frozen, but not all the way to the middle. So it's been really cold at night. It's been warmer during the day. So there is a thin sheet of ice on the pond. Our fear is that the sheep will notice, just kind of like a cow could, notice that it's solid. They feel like they can walk out on the pond and then they could fall into the middle and it wouldn't be good. Again, we can hardly get the sheep to even step in water to cross a creek to get to a new paddock. So I do not think it would be an issue with these sheep to step out onto the frozen pond. But again, it's not a risk that we're willing to take. So I went ahead and put up this just as a very short strand of temporary fence to lock them off of the pond for this paddock. And there actually is a hydrant in this permanent paddock as well. So I went ahead and set up a temporary water source for them in this particular paddock. So we like to make sure there's at least one reliable water source in many of our permanent paddocks. If the pond is what we are relying on for a water source, we also like to make sure there's another source as well, like in this one where there's a hydrant. So I just wanted to share that real quick, just to kind of show why we blocked them off from the pond this particular time. We don't want to take any chances with them thinking they can walk out on there because it's a hard surface and then falling into the middle. All right, we got them all up here. I'm trying to make sure these here coming from the side don't try to jump this fence here, so I'm going to kind of walk down this fence line as I let these come through. I got to kind of walk down this fence line here as they're moving because I've got a bunch of them coming up from the bottom here, and I don't want them to try to jump over this fence. So as you can see, they're coming from all over. The majority of them are coming from the top here, and then they're going through this opening right here. So I kind of had to stay down the hill here because I don't want anything to think they can jump over this. And we still kind of like these here. They're kind of looking at it like, ooh, since we had so many coming from down the hill. It's a couple babies. They're going to stay right here with mom. This little spotted ewe is theirs. Typically after a move like this, we will come back down in about an hour. Make sure everybody matched back up. Come on, sheep. Come on, sheep. Go up top. Again, we're trying not to push them. Just kind of let mom and baby walk through. Now, as you can see, we have sheep on both sides of the fence. These are kind of the ones that came up later. And then we've got sheep now on the other side of this two strands. So I've got to keep these from wanting to jump over. Typically, we don't have any issues with them jumping over, but if they see sheep on the other side, they will. Yeah, not doing it. There you go. Up the hill. There you go. All the way up. Hey, hey, hey. There you go. Okay, we got everything moved through. Everybody settling back in with each other, and got the dogs through. So that was it for today's move. Thanks for following along, and we'll keep you updated on our lamb situation.